I think at this rate, the class of 2025 is going to have more players in it than the class of 2024. Penn State on a roll in recruiting, and it's not just for the class upcoming. They've been adding players to the future as well, and the latest Nittany Lion is of that variety. And we'll get to that right now. Show you what's up with Kiandrea Barker, commits to the Nittany Lions. He is a 2025 running back. We'll get you here into his industry ranking and his on-3 ranking. As you can see, a top 200 player in the nation for 2025 at the 161st player, 14th overall running back, so just scraping on the outside of the top 10 in the country. In Texas, he's 27th overall. We'll get to that in just a second. A little bit lower at on-3. He's still in the on-300, but 217, a little bit lower as a running back, and of course then lower in Texas overall. So he's from Beebe, Arkansas, played for, I believe, Beebe High School. It was this past season. He's transferring to the Woodland School in Texas. So we'll get to a little bit of that at the end of the video, give you some information on why that might be. But first and foremost, please subscribe to Blue White Illustrated here on YouTube and like this video. And then, of course, BlueWhiteIllustrated.com, great time to sign up. It is spring game weekend, so you might still be able to catch that deal where you get 4 months of access for $10. So a great time to sign up for Blue White Illustrated because the recruiting is coming thick and fast. Like, if you want to be on the inside and know everything, and know that Caleb Brewer commits during the blue-white game, Blue White Illustrated Lines and message forum is a great place to get that information because there are things happening everywhere. This isn't going to be the last commitment, I don't even think, this week. So Barker, we'll get to him here in a second. One of the major reasons he committed to the Nittany Lions, and this is kind of just a pocket win for the Nittany Lions, he's a fan of Saquon Barkley. He told Sam Spiegelman of On3, that's why he wanted to go to Penn State, is because that's where Saquon Barkley came from. If they were able to develop Saquon, he thinks, and I think he probably models his game after the famous Nittany Lions, so wants to go and play for the team that Saquon played for. And when Penn State's able to get a top 200 player in the nation because they had Saquon Barkley 5 years ago, that's a win. That's one of those ones you just put in your pocket, say thank you, and move on. Of course, relationship development is still very important. They were able to reach out early, be one of the first teams in on Barker in 2021. As a freshman, Pitt, Penn State were some of the first ones. When it comes to who he chose the Nittany Lions over, I mean, when you're a year and a half, 2 years out, it's hard to say that there was a Final Four, but Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Florida State, and Miami were some of the other players in his recruitment. Went on a couple of unofficial visits. Of course, came up for the blue-white game this past weekend, spent a couple days in Happy Valley, and then a couple hours later, 24 hours later, he is now a Nittany Lion in the class of 2025. So when we look at what he is as a football player, I think it's very interesting that he says Saquon Barkley is his favorite player. Is he the next Saquon Barkley at Penn State? Well, if you watch this video, this looks very Saquon-like, being able to make multiple people miss, good lateral agility, and able to cut upfield, get upfield, and then break tackles, and complete the play, run away from people. So a couple things that come to mind watching his games, watch a little bit of his offense. There's still development to go. This is sophomore film, so we're not nitpicking. We're not going to go into some of the details. There's a lot of areas for him to learn and grow, but the building blocks here are very good. I mean, nobody's lying to you that he's a top 200 player in the nation. 6 foot, 190, good frame. I don't know if he's going to be a power back, but I think he's got a good room to grow. And that contact balance, usually that means there's a good center of gravity. He's able to lower his pads and get through contact. I think he's a little upright at times, but I'm always a stickler for that, just because I think all running backs should be 5'9", apparently. But great vision, cutting ability, agility, burst. I think his long speed, he's running away from everybody, right? So he's got good speed. Does he have that elite game-breaking speed? I think he can get better in that area. There's no track times for us to give you. There's not a kind of a gauge there, but as you can see, good route runner, good hands. He doesn't seem to fight the ball in the air. Didn't see any issues with that on film. Not a savvy route runner, but again, he's a sophomore, and he's transferring to the Woodland School in Texas. Texas, just in general, is a serious brand of football. And watching some of the full games for his high school, there's a little bit of I think, and this is always, I feel bad saying this, but like I think he'll find better coaching elsewhere, where they're going to be the offense that there didn't seem to be a lot of sharpness from the quarterback, and he might be a young player, but at the same time, going into a Texas environment, I'm imagining a very semi-professional atmosphere, getting some more coaching, and I think he can get much better as time goes on. So not only is the 161st player in the nation, 247 has him as a top 100 player. I think I'm a little closer to where Penn State or where On3 has him in the 200s, but I do think he can get there. I do believe that with his size and his natural gifts that he has, because contact balance is a funny thing. It's not just about core strength. It's not just about your ability to run through somebody. It's almost physics. Like when somebody hits you, you're able to feel the momentum and use it to your advantage. And that is something that not everybody has. So the ability to break tackles with that that's a something special sort of quality. So developing those things, I think adding some more muscle will make him faster and more explosive. That's an area I want to see a little bit more explosiveness. He is faster than everybody on the field, but I think going to a next level of competition, a higher level of competition, a higher level of execution will make all of these things shine, make him a top 150 player in the nation, maybe a top 10 running back. All of that is to say that there's great upside here. And that's the point I think that's important with running backs is I haven't seen recently Penn State offer and then accept an offer and get a commitment from a guy at running back specifically 2 years out. And one of the reasons, and I think the main reason is, you don't know how guys are going to develop. I can paint a rosy picture of he's 6 foot, he can get bigger, he can get faster, he's fast enough already, but he can, make that special transition. Turn the corner towards, okay, this is a guy we should have 2 years early. I think he can get there. But for the most part, one of two things happens. You want to see how a guy develops, so you're not going to accept the offer immediately, or he's a guy that has a lot of options and probably weighs his options all the way down into his official visit before his senior season. You know how a lot of the elite players go. So this is a special circumstance from what I've seen, that Penn State offers and accepts an offer from a guy 2 years out at running back, because the other side of this is running back is all about your physical abilities. Like, it is about how you play the game and the nuance and the technique, but to be great, it's one of those positions that is so heavily dependent on athleticism. Some of the best athletes on the field are running backs, and you've got to have the whole package or one special quality that makes you stand out. So Nick Singleton is a special athlete that has all of the physical tools. Saquon Barkley, a special athlete that had all of the physical tools that you would want. So Kiandrea Barker, I think he's got a lot of the physical tools you want, rounding towards all of them, but we'll see how he develops very early in his process. So let me pull up the class commitment list, and I think this will maybe do a better job of what I'm talking about here. Safety. Amari Gaines, corner safety Amari Gaines, 6'2.5", 175. Frame is a big part of that because he can develop into a linebacker, safety, a couple of different options there. Jalen Matthews, 6'5.5", 6'6", huge, long wingspan, all the things you want as a player. So frame and size and all of those things, when they're early indicators in an offensive lineman, I think that makes sense that you accept those commitments a little bit earlier. For a running back, I just want to underscore that I think this is a little bit of a special thing to have a guy in 2025 commit to the Nittany Lions. Oh, and by the way, for all those people that are like top five class, number 3 right now in 2025. So Penn State holding on in the top 5 for 2 years from now. Of course, that makes them the first ranked team in the Big Ten for now, with an overall score here, as you can see, 88. So a great start to 2025. Nittany Lions are marching into 2024, adding some quality players over the last couple of weeks, and we'll see where the things fall next. I'm Thomas Frank Carr, once again, BlueWhiteIllustrated.com, your place to sign up for Penn State football insider information in recruiting and elsewhere. We will be back on Monday morning with the BWI recruiting show. So the next time we're here on screen, we're also going to be talking about Kiandrea Barker and Caleb Brewer, the blue-white game, how everything went down. So make sure you subscribe here on YouTube so you don't miss any of that. I'm Thomas Frank Carr. We will be back then.